सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे
वन्दे
गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहनाववतु
भवतु
सहनौ
नौ
भुनक्तु
भुनक्तु
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै।
शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Okay, so the Saturday has merged to the Sunday, timelessness. Okay. All right. So we had completed the third khanda, correct? So now we are looking at the fourth khanda, of the second chapter. We'll chant the first two mantras, Prathama Adhyayah, Chaturtha Khandaha. Sarvasu apsu panchavidam samopasita
सर्वासु
पञ्चविधं
पञ्चविधं समुपासितः
मेघो यत् सम्प्लवते सहिङ्कारो
मेघो यत्
मेघो यत्
सम्प्लवते
सम्प्लुवते
सहिंकारो
स ह्रीङ्कारो
यद्वर्षति स प्रस्तावो याः
यद्वर्षति
यद्
यद्वर्षति
वर्षति स प्रस्तावो
प्राच्यस्यन्दन्ते स उदितो
राज्यस्यन्दन्ते स
ते स उदितो
याः प्रतीच्य स प्रतिहारः
या प्रतीच्य स
प्रतीच्य स
प्रतिहारः
प्रतिहारः
समुद्रो निधनम्
समुद्रो
समुद्रो
निधनम्
न यप्सु प्रैति अप्सु मान् भवति
सुमान् भवति
य एतद् एवं विद्वान्
य
य एतदेवं विद्वान्
सर्वास्वप्सु पञ्चविधं सामोपासते
सर्वास्वप्सु
पञ्चविधं
सामोपास्ते
So like in the previous upasanas, the alambanams, they remain the same. The devatas here are different. They are all connected to waters, the rains, basically. So he says, Sarvasu apsu panchavidam samopasit. Sarvasu apsu, waters of all types. Apsu is water. Sarvasu apsu, waters of all types. Panchavidam sama upasita has to be meditated upon in 5 ways, 5 different ways on Samaha. Sama means the alambanams. And what were they? Hinkaraha, Prastava, Udgita, Pratihara, Nithanam. These were the 5 alambanams. And here they are presenting the devatas as the water devatas. All devatas connected with the various types of water. So on the Hinkara alambanam, he says, Megho yat samplavate. Right? So water in the rain-bearing clouds will be invoked on Hinkara. So the imagery we have to clearly understand. Megho yat samplavati. Waters in the rain-bearing clouds will be invoked on Hinkara. And prastavaha yad varshati. Yad varshati sa prastavaha. Then the water which emerges from the rain-bearing clouds as the rain. And therefore yad varshati, that rains, the water which rains down, that is invoked on prastavaha. Now here, you have to visualize that the rains are falling on the mountains, right? And the mountain is sloping. So there is a slope which goes towards the east, and there is a slope which goes towards the west. And therefore, this rain, which is falling on the mountain, breaks into two streams. So all this is imagery, imagination, visualization. So all upasana requires some imaginative powers. Therefore, this water which has fallen on the mountain has broken into two streams. One is going towards the east and one is going towards the west. So he says, Yaha Prachya Syandante Sa Udgitaha. Prachya is the east. Yaha Prachya Syandante. Those waters which are flowing towards the east, Sa Udgitaha. That is the Udgitaha. So on those waters, you have to invoke on Udgita. The alambana, so Udgita over here. And ya pratichya. Pratichya is the west. Ya pratichya, syandante, you have to add sa pratiharaha. So the east flowing waters, east flowing rivers are to be invoked on Udgitaha alambanam, and the west flowing rivers are to be invoked on Pratiharaha, right? And Samudraha Nidhanam. And the ocean itself, which is where all the waters finally meet, the east flowing rivers and the west flowing rivers, they flow into the ocean. So that ocean, the big reservoir, is to be invoked on Nidhanam. So this is the Upasana over here. And what is the phalam of the Upasana? What is the Upasana phalam? Ye etat evam vidvan. That person. The vidvan here is the one who has knowledge of the rituals. So vidvan doesn't mean Vedanta Vidvan. It means Karmakanda Vidvan. So, ya etat evam vidvan. That ritualist who meditates sarvasu apsu on all the five waters in the Panchavidam, in this five different manner, Samopasate, he meditates upon the waters in this particular manner. What is his benefit? Apsuman bhavati. He will be a person who has plenty of water, right? He will always have water. He will never be thirsty. And apsu na praiti. This is the second phalam. He will never be destroyed by water. That is to say, he can fall into an ocean, but he will never die by drowning. He might die. Some others, hungrily, he might die out of hunger or, exposure or whatever. But water will not kill him. Apsu na praiti. So that is the Chaturtha Khandaha. We'll go to the Panchama Khandaha. We'll chant the two mantras. ऋतुषु पञ्चविधं सामोपासीत
ऋतुषु पञ्चविधं
पञ्चविधं
सामोपासीत
सामोपासीत
वसन्तो हिङ्कारः
वसन्तो
वसन्तो
विहारः
हिंकारः
ग्रीष्मः प्रस्तावो
ग्रीष्मप्रस्तावो
ग्रीष्मः प्रस्तावो
वर्षा उद्गीतः
वर्षा
वर्षोत्तरः
उद्गीतः
शरत्प्रतिहारः
शरत्प्रतिहारः
प्रतिहारः
हेमन्तो निधनम्
हेमन्तोनिधनं
हेमन्तो निधनम्
कल्पन्ते हास्मार्तवः
कल्पन्ते
कल्पन्ते
हास्मार्तवः
हासार्तव
ऋतुमान् भवति
ऋतुमान्
ऋतुमान्
भवते
भवति
य एतद् एवं विद्वान्
य
य
एवं
एतदेवं
विद्वान्
विद्वान्
ऋतुषु पञ्चविधं सामोपासते
ऋतुषु पञ्चविधं
पञ्चविधं सामुपासते
So the devatas are no what? Seasonal devatas. Maybe I should amend that. Not seasonal devatas, devatas of the seasons. Otherwise, you'll think that they are devatas who appear only during particular seasons. No, they are devatas presiding over the ritu, the various seasons. Alambanam remains the same, but we see all the ritus which are there, the seasons which are there in our particular tradition. So at least we become aware of the names, right? So Vasanto Hinkaraha. So Vasanta means spring in English. Spring is invoked. Vasantaha, Ritu is invoked on Hinkaraha. Grishmaha Prastavaha. Grishma is summer. So Prastava. What is happening? What we're going through today is Grishma. So Grishmaha Prastavaha. Summer is invoked on Prastavaha. Varsha Udgitaha. The rains are invoked on Udgitaha. Sharat Pratiharaha. So Sharat can be taken as that season where the leaves will begin to fall. So autumn, autumn is invoked on Pratiharaha and Hemanto Nidhanam. Okay. So literally, Hemantaha is the pre-winter session. Okay. Not really winter. What is winter called?
शीत
Shishiram. Shishiram. Okay. So Hemanta is pre-winter and winter is actually called Shishiram, but here we don't have the distinction. In fact, there is no word in English for Hemantaha, right? So here we can just club all of them, and November to February or whatever, that is the whole season. pre-winter, winter, everything. So Hemanto Nidhanam. Hemanta here represents the entire 3-4 months. Invoked on what? Nidhanam. These are all, remember, Ritu Devatas. They are not Ritu itself. They are not the seasons themselves. They are Ritu Devatas. What is the phalam? Ye etat evam vidvan Rutushu panchavidam samopasate. That vidwan who does upasana on these seasons in this manner, in this fivefold manner, kalpante hasma ritavaha. So he will get all the pleasures which are available in the seasons. So whatever pleasurable experiences are there in the seasons, all those he will get. And Rituman Bhavati. He will experience all the seasons, which means that in his 1 year, you will find that he will be moving through all the seasons. Okay, not just very hot or very cold, but all the seasons. Now, you should note that these upasanas can also be taken as a form of Virat Upasana. Why? Why is the season Upasana taken as Virat Upasana? Can be taken. It's not presented as that here in this mantra, but it can be taken as a Virat Upasana.
These all those things. I mean, these are, if we take part of Virat.
These are all seasons and all are part of the universe, part of the world, part of Virat. Very good. Now, Shashta Khanda, the sixth section we'll go to. First two mantras. Pashushu Panchavidam Samopasita
पशुषु
पञ्चविधं
Ajahinkaraha
अजाह्रिङ्कारः
Avayaf Prastavo
अवयवस्तावो
Gava Udgitho
गाव उद्गीतो
Ashva Pratiharaha
अश्वप्रतिहारः
Purusho Nidhanam
पुरुषो
Bhavanti Hyasya Pashavaha
भवन्ति ह्यस्य पशवः
Pashuman Bhavati
पशुमान् भवति
भवति
Etad Evam Vidvan Pashushu
य एतदेवं
विद्वान्
विद्वान् पशुषु
पशुषु
Panchavidam Samopasate.
पञ्चविधं
पञ्चविधं
सामुपे
सामुपासते.
So now, what is taken? Animals are taken, right? So these are all the different animals. The alambadams remain the same. So he says, Panchavidam Pashushu Samopasita. That person, he meditates upon the 5 types of animals. Samopasita simply means upon the 5 Sam Bhaktis. What are they? Inkara, Prastava, Udgita, etc. Right? So first is Ajaha on Inkaraha. What is Aja? Don't say one who does not die.
A goat.
Aja also has meaning of goat. Aja also means not born. Okay. But in this context, it is animals because it says Pashusu and therefore goat. The goat is invoked on Hinkara, on him. Then Avayaha. Avayaha is a sheep, right? It's name for sheep. So sheep is invoked on Prastavaha. Gavaha is cows. On Udgitha. Ashwa is a horse. On Pratiharaha. Purusha is a human being. On Nidhanam. So this is the meditation. When you meditate like this, on each of these alambanams, him, Prastava, Udgita, etc., you invoke respectively these 5 animals. Purusha, of course, we can, because it is saying in the beginning it says Pashu, we are taking Purusha also as an animal. Two-legged, but animal. So what is the phalam? Ye etad evam vishwan pashushu panchavidam samopasate. The one who meditates on these animals in this fivefold manner, what will happen to him? Pashava hi asya bhavanti. All the animals will belong to him. Pashuman bhavati. He will have plenty of animals. Remember that in the old days, wealth was measured by the amount of cows and horses and all that you had. Now, some of you who are dog lovers may wonder why dogs are not included over here. Why do you think? Because
They
nowadays,
don't serve.
they don't.
They don't serve directly, like as cow and goat and all these things. And horses. They are more useful, probably.
Dogs are not
Livestock.
useful.
They're livestock. That is the reason.
Well, you
Is
could
it-
say that, but basically, if you look at Shastram, you know, unfortunately, dogs did not occupy a place of any great respect, right? So, Shastra doesn't think dogs are very great. The idea has now changed because everybody has dogs. Okay. So, I'm not passing judgments. I'm just telling you that in Shastram, dogs were not a very prominent part. They were not respected. Though we saw that
Yeah,
there was
we
a.
saw
There,
Shvetashva in the previous section, the white dog on which the Prana Devata or
right. So, that's
Rishi.
I was just about to say, as an exception, dogs are mentioned there, but those are in the form of rishis or devatas. So, only there. Otherwise, Shastra doesn't look upon with great favor upon dogs. Anyway, now we go to Saptama Khandaha, the seventh section, first two mantras again. We will chant. Praneshu panchavidam parovariyah.
Praneshu
प्राणेषु
Panchavidam
पञ्चविधं परोपरियः
Amopasita pranahinkarah.
Samupasita
प्राणहिंकारः
Vakprastava.
Wow.
वाक्प्रस्ताव
Chakshurudgitha.
चक्षुरुद्गीत
Shrotram pratiharaha.
Stotram
श्रोत्रं प्रतिहारः
Manonidhanam parovariyam siva etani.
मनोनिधनं परोवर्यां शिवा एतानि
परोवरियो ह्यस्य भवति
परोवर्यो हस्य भवति
परोवर्यसोह लोकान् जयति
परोवरयसोः लोकान् जयति
य एतद् एवं विद्वान् प्राणेषु पञ्चविधं परोवरीयः
एतदेवं
विद्वान् प्राणेषु पञ्चविधं परोवर्यः
कामोपासत इति
समुपासत इति
तु पञ्चविधस्य
पञ्चविधस्य
So your chanting is becoming much smoother. So Sanskrit seems to be becoming easier, right? Enough of chanting and you can speak Sanskrit in your sleep. Okay, so here what is being done? Upasanas are being done on the pranas. Now remember here, carefully note that if you look at the mantra, the word prana includes not just the pancha pranas. What else does it include?
Indriyas, Jnanendriya.
Indriyas includes. Why? Because the logic is that if you need the indriyas to function, prana shakti must be there. Right? Similarly, if you need the mind to function, the power of knowledge in the mind is attributable to prana shakti alone. If you need to talk, you need prana shakti. If you need to hear, you need prana shakti. If you need to see, you need prana shakti. And therefore, in Shastram, very often, when they say prana, they mean pancha prana plus karmendriyas plus jnanendriyas plus antakara. This is not a general definition. It has to be extracted from the context. So in some contexts, you will find you have to read, when you say context, what will happen? You read the mantras preceding and the mantras succeeding, take them all together and you'll get the context. So sometimes you'll find it's only Panchaprana. Sometimes you find it is Panchaprana plus Karmendriyas. Sometimes Panchaprana plus Jnanendriyas plus Karmendriyas. Sometimes only Antakaranam. Can be any combination. Okay, but here the whole set is being talked about. But everything finally depends upon Pranashakti only. The Alambanam remains the same. So here what happens? On Inkaraha, prana, the Pancha pranas are being invoked. On Prastavaha, Vak is being invoked. On Udgitha, Chakshu is being invoked. On Pratihara, Srotram is being invoked. On Nidhanam, the mind, Manasaha, is being invoked. Right. And here he says Parovariyaha. Parovariyaha means there is a gradation. Each of the organs mentioned later is superior, is graded to be of a higher nature or having a higher function than the organ mentioned earlier. So, Vak, for example, is superior to Pranaha. Chakshu is superior to Vak. And how do you explain the range of example, Chakshu is wider than the range of Vak, right? Panchaprana, for example, functions in a very limited range. But the range of the tongue is greater and the range of the mind is the greatest because mind can go everywhere. It can understand Brahma Jnanam also. And therefore, each one is superior to the one previous. So that is what we mean by Parovariya. What is the phalam? Ye etat evam vidvan praneshu panchavidam parovariya samopasati. The one who meditates upon prana in this fivefold manner, parovariyo hyasya bhavati. He becomes superior to all others. In what? In everything. In jnanam, in wealth, everything. So this is ihalok phalam, the result in this world. Plus, he says, parovariya soha lokan jayati. There is a phalam for the other world also. After death, what will happen? Parovariya lokan jayati. He will gain superior lokas. Right? So he has two kinds of motivation. He becomes the most superior in this world itself. That is ihaloka phalam. And there's a paraloka phalam also. He will go to better worlds when the body dies. Iti tu panchavidhasya. With this, the upasana on the, remember this is a very important idea. Iti tu panchavidhasya. With this, the upasana on the five bhaktis is completed. Why do you say that? You have to recall earlier discussion. What was early discussion? We said there were two sets of bhaktis. 5 and 7. So this in the seventh khanda, the seventh section, the discussion on 5 has been completed. Now we are taking up the discussion on 7 bhaktis, 7 parts of the Sama mantras. So Ashtama khanda, mantra number 8. Sorry, chapter number 2, section number 8, mantra number 1. And we'll chant the 3 mantras, 1, 2, and 3. अथ सप्तविधस्य वाची सप्तविधम्
अथ सप्तविधस्य वाची सप्तविधम्
सामोपासीत
सामुपासित
यत्किञ्च वाचो
यत्किञ्च वाचो
वाचो
हुम् इति सहङ्किङ्कारो
हुमति
युत्प्रेति स प्रस्तावो
यत्
यदेति स आदिः
यदेति आदि
आदिः
यद् उदीति स उद्गीतः यत् प्रतीति स प्रतिहारः
प्रतिहारः
यत् उपेति स उपद्रवः
उपद्रवः
यन्तीति तन्निधनम्
यन्ति तन्निधनम्
दुग्धैस्मै वाग्दोहम्
दुग्धे स्मृतास्तोऽहम्
यो वाचो दोहः
यो वाचो
वाचो
दोहः
दोहः
अन्नवानन्नादो भवति
अन्नवादन्नादो
अन्नवादो
भवति
एतद् एवं विद्वान् वाची
य एतदेवं
एतदेवं विद्वान् वाची
सप्तविधं सामोपासते
सप्तविधं
तत्त्वं सामुपासते
Now we get Saptavida Sama Upasana. So Saptavidam means Sapta Bhaktikam, 7 parts of the Sama. And these are the next 3 sections. So here there are Saptavida, there are 7 alambanams, and therefore on them 7 letters have to be invoked. Right? So these are found in the first 2 mantras. So you have seen the 5 alambanams. You're adding 2 more over here. Adi and Upadravaha. Right? They are not added at the end, they are added in the middle. So the Alambanam, what do you call, serial now becomes Hinkaraha is first, Prastava is second, Adi is third, Udgita is fourth, Pratihara is fifth, Upadrava is sixth, and therefore the seventh is as last one, Nidhana. What are the devatas? On Hinkaraha, Hum. On Prastavaha, Pr. On Adi, A. On Udgita, Ut. On Pratihara, Prati. On Upadravaha, Up. And on Nidhanam, Ni. So he says, Hum iti sahinkaraha. Hum is invoked on hinkaraha. Similarly, Yut Preti. Yat. Yut Preti is broken up to Yat Pra iti. Whatever is pra, Yat Pra. Whatever is pra is Prastava iti. Invoked on Prastavaha. Similarly, Yadeti. Yat A iti sa adihi. A is invoked on adi. Yat uditi. Yat ud iti. So the breakups, if you understand, you'll understand how it's being invoked. Yat uditi is yat ut iti. So ut is invoked on udgitaha. Yat pratiti. Yat prati iti. So prati is invoked on pratiharaha. Yat upeti. Yat up iti. Up is invoked on upadravaha. Yan niti iti. Yat ni iti is invoked on nidhanam. Okay, these are the invocations. You have to make a chart and keep with you. And what is the phalam? Ye etat evam vidvan vachi saptavidam samopasita. The one who does upasana in these 7 ways, asmai dugde vagdoham. So the phalam of sweet words he will get, right? And we'll find that elsewhere. What is the phalam of sweet words? When you speak sweet words, normally you get whatever you want. So the dugdhai asmai vagdoham. When what his words will very very sweet. Whenever he talks, it will be sweet words. Everybody will like him. All amangalam will go away. He will have no enemies. He will have lots of friends. He will get fame. Not only that, annavan annado bhavati. He'll have plenty of food also. Grains and annam. Annavan annado bhavati. He will have plenty of food also. Okay. So we go to the Navama Khandaha, the ninth Khandaha, ninth section. And we will chant the mantras. So here we have 8 mantras. So we'll chant all of them. Right? Okay. Let's start. Acha khalu amum adityam
अथ खलु
आदित्यं
saptavidam samopasita
सप्तविधं
सामुपासीत
सामुपासीत
sarvada samastena samamam prati
समस्ते
सर्वदा
मां
समस्तेन मां
प्रति
mam pratiti sarvena
मां प्रति
सर्वस्तेन
samastena sama
समस्तेन
साम
tasminimani sarvani bhutani
तस्मिन्निमानि सर्वाणि भूतानि
सर्वाणि
अन्वायत्तानीति
अन्वानि
अन्वायत्तानीति
विद्या तस्य यत् पुरोदयात्
विद्यार्थस्य
यत्
यत्पुरोदयात्
पुरोदयात्
सहिङ्कारः
सहिंकारः
अहङ्कारः
तदस्य पशवो अन्वायत्ताः
तदस्य पशवो अन्वायत्त
तस्मात् ते हिङ्कुर्वन्ति
तस्मात् ते
कुर्वन्ति
हिङ्कारभाजिनो हेतस्य
भाजिनो हेतस्य
साम्नः
साम्नः
अथ यत् प्रथमोदिते स प्रस्तावः
अथ
अथ यत्
उदिते स
प्रथमोदिते
प्रस्तावः
प्रस्तावः
तदस्य मनुष्य अन्वायत्ताः
तदस्य
तस्य मनुष्य
मनुष्यान्वायत्ताः
अन्वासः
तस्मात् ते प्रस्तौति
तस्मात् ते
ते प्रस्तौति
प्रस्तुति
कामा प्रशंसा कामा प्रस्तावः
कामा प्रशंसा
कामप्रशंसा कामप्रस्तावः
भाजिनो हेतस्य साम्नः
भाजिनो
भाजिनो हेतस्य साम्नः
अथ यत् सङ्गवेलायां स आदिः
अथ यत् सङ्गलीलायां सहादिः
यज्ञवेलायम्
अथ यत् सङ्गवेलायां स आदिः
अथ यत्
अथ यत्
वेदायाम् आदिः
सङ्गवेलायं स आदिः
तदस्य वयांसि अन्वायत्तानि
तस्य
तदस्य
तदस्यास्य
वयान्वायत्तानि
यान्तानि
तस्मात् तानि अन्तरिक्षे
तस्मात् तानि अन्तरिक्षे
तस्मात्तान्तरिक्षे
अनारम्भमणानि आदायत्मानम्
अनादिडान्तायात्मानं
आदायत्मानम् परिपन्ति आदिभाजिनी
परिपन्त्यादिभाजिनी
एतस्य साम्नः
एतस्य
एतस्य साम्नः
अथ यत् सम्प्रति
अथ यत्
अथ
सम्प्रति
यत् सम्प्रति
मध्यन्दिने स उद्गीतः
मध्यन्दिने स उद्गीतः
मध्यन्दिने स उद्गीतः
तदस्य देवा अन्वायत्ताः
तदस्य देवा
तदस्य देवाः
तस्मात् ते सप्तमाः
तस्मात् ते
तस्मात् ते
सप्तमः
सप्तमाः
राजापत्यानामुद्गीतः
राजापत्यानां
राजापत्यानामुद्गीतः
भाजिनो ह्यतस्य साम्नः
भाजिनो
भाजिनो ह्येतस्य साम्नः
अथ यत् ऊर्ध्वं मध्यन्दिनात्
अथ यत्
अथ
ऊर्ध्वमन्दिनात्
वन्दिनात्
प्रागपराहन्नात्
प्रागपराह्मणात्
रागपराह्मण्यात्
सप्रतिहार तदस्य गर्भा अन्वायत्ताः
प्रतिहार
प्रतिहार तदस्य गर्भ अन्नायत्यात्
तस्मात् ते प्रतिहता
तस्मात् ते
प्रतिहृता
नावपद्यन्ते
नावपद्यन्ते
प्रतिहार भाजिनो हेतस्य साम्नः
प्रतिहार
प्रतिभाजिनो ह्येतस्य साम्नः
अथ यत् ऊर्ध्वम् अपराह्न प्राग्
अथ यत्
अथ
ऊर्ध्वमपराह्मणात्
अस्तमयात् स उपद्रवः
अस्तमयात् स उपद्रवस्तः
तदस्य अरण्य अन्वायत्ताः
तदस्य रण्यान्वायत्ताः
तस्मात् ते पुरुषं दृष्ट्वा
तस्मात् ते पुरुषं दृष्ट्वा
कक्षं स्वभ्रमीत्युपद्रवन्ति
संश्वभ्रमीत्युपद्रव्यन्ति
कक्षं स्वभ्रमीत् उपद्रवन्ति
कक्षं
रभीत्
स्वभ्रमीत्युपद्रवन्ति
उपद्रवभाजिनो यतस्य साम्नः
उपद्रवभाजिनो
उपद्रवभाजिनो
तस्य
तस्य साम्नः
साम्नः
असयत् प्रथमास्तमीते
अथ
अथ यत्
यत्
प्रथमास्तमी ते
तन् तन्निधनं तदस्य पितरो अन्वायत्ताः
तन्निधनं
तन्निधनं तदस्य
यत्ताः
यत्ताः
तस्मात् तन्निधति तस्मात् तत् निदधाति
तस्मात् निदधाति
दधति
निध-
निदतीति
निधनं भाजिनो एतस्य
निधनभाजिनो एतस्य
भाजिनो एतस्य
ताम्न एव खलु अमुम्
साम्न एवं खलु
साम्येवम्
आदित्यं सप्तविधं सामोपासते
आदित्यं
आदित्यं
सप्तविधं
सप्तविधं
सामोपासते
Okay. So here the 7 types of Samopasana is on Aditya Devata, right? But the various phases of Aditya Devata in one particular day are taken. So Aditya Devata has 12 phases over the year, for which you have 12 different names. But here, various phases of Surya Devata on one day is taken, on one particular day, the 12 hours or whatever, right? So first there is the praise, glorification. So Surya is Samaha. It is always the same. There is no waxing or waning. Right? So he says, Mam Pratiti. Whoever is looking at the Surya, wherever you are, in whichever corner of the world you are, if you're looking at the sun, what will happen? It will seem as if the sun is facing you. Right? Therefore, Samaha. It is the same for all people. And the various phases of the sun on a particular day are to be taken as the bhaktis, as the parts. Okay. So, what are the 7 phases? Purodayaha. You can guess Pura Udayaha. The phase before the sunrise. Pura Udayaha. That's the first phase. Then Prathama Udayaha. Immediately on rising. As it rises. Second one. Then Sangvavelaha. Sangvavelaha is when the sun is little above the horizon, then all the rays are now available. The rays of the sun are falling on various objects. So, in other words, Sangva Velaha is the sunlight is spreading. Then Madhyandinaha. That is very clear, right? What is Madhyandinaha?
right in the middle of the day.
Mid
Of the
afternoon.
day, mid afternoon. Sun is right above you in its absolute full heat or glory. Then Madhyandinat Urdhvam. Again, it's fairly simple Sanskrit. Madhyandinat Urdhvam. Urdhvam means after normally. What does it mean?
Post afternoon.
Post the noon, after the noon, right? Then Aparahannat Urdhvam, after the afternoon. So there is the afternoon, Madhyandinaha. There is after the noon, that is Madhyandinat Urdhvam. Then there is Aparahannat Urdhvam, after the afternoon, that is the evening. Okay, they could simply have said evening, but they don't say the evening. And then Prathama Astamidam, just after setting. So these are the 7 phases. And these are to be invoked on the 7 alambanams, which we already know. So on Hinkaraha, you are invoking Purodayaha. On Prastavaha, you are invoking Prathamodayaha. On Adi, you are invoking Sangbavela. On Udgitaha, you are invoking Madhyandinaha. On Pratiharaha, you are invoking Madhyandinat Urdhvam. On Upadravaha, you are invoking Aparahannat Urdhvam. On Nidhanam, you are invoking Prathama Astamidam. So the invocations of the Devatas. So you are talking about Purodaya Devata, Prathamodaya Devata, Sangvavela Devata, and so on. Okay. So in this section, one more idea is being mentioned in the other mantras. With each of these phases, you are associating certain entities. So with Purodayaha, Pashuhu. So he says Tadasya Pashavo Anvayatta. The animals are dependent on the phases of the moon. right, of the sun. So with this Purodaya, early morning, these animals are dependent. Then Prathamodaya, he says, with them Manushyaha. Tadasya Manushyaha Anvayata. With the first light, what is there? People are dependent upon. Humans are dependent upon that light. And therefore, they are being invoked on Prastavaha. Then Sangmavelaha. This is the time when the birds are associated because birds begin to fly at that time. Then Madhyandinaha. This is connected with Devatas, with Udgita. Right? These Devatas are supposed to be the children of Prajapati and they are connected straight away to Madhyandinaha. Then Madhyandina Urdhvam. So the child in the womb is dependent on this phase. That is why he says the child in the womb stays and gets strength during this phase. Pratihara is holding up. And Aparanna Durdhvam is connected with wild animals. Aranya, forests. And Upadrava is what? Upadrava is trouble. So whenever they see a human, they run away. Animals run away. Then Prathama Astamidam. This is connected to the forefathers. Pitaraha. So Nidhanam. They are dead and they are gone. There is no Phalasruti given. So what is the Phalasruti going to be?
Prana, higher prana.
No. Phalasruti is Yatha Yatha Upasana Tatha Tatha Phalam. So the Upasana is to Surya Bhagavan. Therefore, the grace of Aditya Devata will be available for the Upasak. Okay. Any questions? So the next one is slightly long. I don't think we'll be able to complete. So with this, we'll close for today. Thank you for your patience. Om.
Chate
Waiting for one of you all to say it.
Om Shanti
Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your patience. Om.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Om.